Good morning, distinguished colleagues. We will just give a couple of seconds for distinguished participants like yourselves to join the session. Please feel at home and enjoy the ride with us. Good morning from Abuja, Nigeria, and welcome to this webinar on the introduction to RSH e-learning models on safeguarding from the Safeguarding Resource and Support Hub. I am Sylvanus Nabena, currently serving as the Monitoring, Evaluation, and Learning Officer at the Safeguarding Resource and Support Hub Nigeria. I have over a decade of expertise in supporting reform initiatives across federal and subnational levels in Nigeria. As a male expert, I am committed to informed decision-making through evidence. I have previously led learning studies in FCDO-funded projects. Once again, welcome from all of us at the Safeguarding Resource and Support Hub. Please be informed that we have available closed captioning. You can access the closed captioning feature by clicking on the CC button at the bottom of your screen. Today's webinar will be looking at the relevance of the RSH e-learning models as a vital course on safeguarding. We hope to raise awareness on how this course would add value to every individual or organization starting or improving their safeguarding journey. To do this, we have 4 speakers who will talk us through key parts of this event. Our first speaker, Oluchi Ihedoro, is the national representative of the Safeguarding Resource and Support Hub, Nigeria. She brings 11 years of dedicated experience in the aid sector and is a safeguarding expert. Oluchi leads the Nigeria delivery team of RSH. She has extensive experience supporting civil society organizations globally, providing expertise in capacity building and system strengthening. Oluchi's presentation today will focus on letting everyone get a better understanding of what the RSH e-learning models offer, including highlighting available languages and, of course, the target users. She will also provide a brief demonstration on how to navigate the e-learning models on the RSH Nigeria website. Our second speaker, Hawa Hassan, is a dedicated gender and protection officer with 6 years of experience in nutrition, health, child protection, and gender-based violence. She has managed projects funded by USAID, FCDO, CEDA, and more. Her presentation will focus on her experience and journey to date using the RSH e-learning models. Our third speaker, Edward Brewer, hails from South Africa. While his background lies in the vibrant world of fashion and film, he has embarked on a new path towards UX design. Inspired by a desire to make positive impact, he developed two impactful apps and decided to complete the RSH e-learning modules on safeguarding. He will share his experience and particularly the impact the course has had on him. Our fourth speaker, Holger El-Sahid, served as the safeguarding focal point with Save the Children Egypt for about 5 years. She is currently working as a safeguarding consultant with several national and international organizations. She has undertaken numerous assignments in diverse locations across the globe, including Egypt, Tunisia, Syria, and Pakistan, where she has led intricate child protection and safeguarding investigations. Holger will share how she has used the course in her work as a safeguarding mentor and expert. Before we start, a few points on housekeeping. First, you are all on mute with your videos turned off. This is deliberate. It's to support you and to support everyone to ensure that the quality and connection of this webinar is on track. Please be aware that we will be recording this webinar to share on the online hub afterwards for anyone who was not able to join. Your names, of course, will not be visible. Please also be advised that this webinar contains content on safeguarding that some may find distressing. If you would like to ask any question during the live Q&A session, please do add them to the Q&A section throughout the webinar. You can find the Q&A in the control panels in the bottom of your screen. You can add new questions or upvote any existing question. We will try to respond to all, clustering where necessary, individually addressing them where possible. With the introduction and housekeeping now sorted, permit me to invite our first speaker, Oluchi Ihedero, to kick off this conversation. Oluchi.
Thank you so much, Nabina, and thank you everyone for joining us in today's webinar. I would like to start by stating that this webinar is a progression of the relaunch webinar that we had on the 5th of December last year. From that webinar, we had some observations and identified some areas of curiosities, high level of interest from our audience on the RSH safeguarding course. We as well received lots of questions from the audience, and so we scheduled this webinar to create that platform for us to provide you with further information on the RSH safeguarding course, help you understand how relevant it is to your work and your individual safeguarding journey, as well as help you understand how to navigate this course on our website. Next slide. So the RSH safeguarding course is basically a course that has been designed by the Resource and Support Hub to provide learners the opportunity to learn about safeguarding in its entirety, what it is about, and how that applies to their work. And our overall objective is to provide this course in a flexible approach that learning can be fostered for every learner, irrespective of your safeguarding capacity, your knowledge, and what information you may have on safeguarding. It is a flexible course that anyone can go through and acquire relevant information and knowledge on safeguarding. This flexibility will help learners to get knowledge on the practical implementation of safeguarding within their organizations. It also creates an opportunity for both safeguarding and non-safeguarding specialists across the globe to improve their skills and capacity and access relevant resources through the course. And then the icing on the cake is that the course rewards learners at the completion of the course with a certificate on safeguarding, which is also given at no cost. Now, who are our target users for this course? Anyone interested in promoting safer organization will find this course relevant for this objective and vision. And so, talking of anyone, we can talk about safeguarding experts, people who already have their capacities built on safeguarding, yes, as this course will benefit them the opportunity to access technical information, access links to relevant resources that will be helpful for them in their work and help them strengthen their ability and capacity to better understand how to engage with the organizations that they are supporting on safeguarding and provide this service effectively. The non-safeguarding experts, of course, will be able to build their knowledge and capacity through this course. And this as well as refers to those both in the humanitarian and development sectors, because the course simply guides organizations on better approaches and ways to mainstream safeguarding in their activities, in their projects, in their operations, and ensure that everyone is kept safe. So it is relevant for the both sectors. And of course, our users from both the private and government sectors are not left behind, as this will help them strengthen the systems and practices within their institutions and sectors. Next slide. Now, talking about this course, we're going to look at the models and the expected learning outcomes from these models. So the RSH safeguarding course, which is also called the Safeguarding Matters, contains 5 modules. And each of these modules addresses and teaches various relevant aspects of safeguarding. Let's start with module 1. This will help learners to gain background knowledge on safeguarding, understand definition of relevant terms and concepts on safeguarding. They will also be able to understand safeguarding responsibilities within their organization and help them recognize the importance of workplace behaviors in safeguarding, which will yield to great and positive behavioral change. Module 2 will help learners to understand the importance of safeguarding due diligence for their organization and partners and in all that they do. It will as well help them identify key safeguarding activities within the program cycle that will help foster safe programming and help them recognize the role of leadership and organizational culture in moving towards safe practices. The importance of leadership can never be overemphasized when implementing and thinking about effective implementation of safeguarding within an organization. Module 3 will help learners understand how to prepare and undertake a safeguarding monitoring visit to a partner organization. It will help them support their partner organizations to strengthen their safeguarding systems and practices, highlighting what may happen when risks are not identified or addressed. It will as well help them respond to a disclosure and make a report using the appropriate channels that the organization has set up. Module 4 will help learners understand how safeguarding is covered in receiving a safeguarding incident report and making an initial assessment, in supporting the safeguarding investigation process, and in preparing and undertaking an internal safeguarding review to learn lessons and improve practice to avoid reoccurrence. Module 5, which is the last but not the least of the modules, will help learners and organizations as well to become familiar with the basic principles for ensuring safe monitoring, evaluation, and learning. It will help them understand how to gather feedback on the effectiveness of their safeguarding implementation and identify possible areas for adaptations and reviews. It will as well help them identify safeguarding risks within the MEL activities of their organization and be able to apply basic safeguarding principles to their MEL activities to address those risks. So those are some of the learning outcomes that learners would benefit from undergoing the RSH 5 modules e-learning safeguarding course. Next slide. Now we're going to look at some of the features of this safeguarding course. Talk about the time commitment. So it will take an average study time of 45 minutes to 1 hour to complete each of the modules. And for Nigerian users, this course is available in both English and Hausa languages. And there are also other 7 languages that this course that you can access this course through. But this will be shown in the video that will be presented to you shortly. Now let's talk about the approach for this course. The RSH safeguarding course applied what we call the scenario-based learning approach. And what this means is that the course tells the story of a fictitious organization, which we call the Family Health Frontiers, FHF for short. And over the course of these 5 modules, learners are going to join the FHF team as they seek to become a safer organization and navigate safeguarding challenges. So the essence of this approach is to give those undergoing this course the opportunity to begin to proactively identify the safeguarding gaps inherent in their organization as they walk the journey with FHF team, and then be proactive again to reflect on how they can possibly bridge these gaps with attention to their peculiarities and contexts. Like I said earlier, there are certificates available at the completion of each of the modules, and you also have an overall certificate provided to learner at the end of the course, as in when you've completed the 5 modules, you have an overall certificate, in addition to the individual certificates that you obtain for completing each of the courses, each of the modules, sorry. Now, another interesting thing about the RSH safeguarding course is that it's not only available online, but can as well be accessed offline. This is in consideration for our users that are in remote and hard-to-reach areas where there are frequent network glitches. And how can this be accessed? Through downloading the modules in PDF formats. Another plus to this offline version is that organizations can actually undergo this course as a group, whereby team members of the organization can discuss the course, go through it, identify areas that apply to them, and begin to think actively as a team on how to effectively mainstream safeguarding in their activities. At the completion of this course by the group members, they can as well assess their certificates by completing the quizzes online and getting their individual certificates as persons. The course as well offers online community discussion forum where after completing your course, you can share your learnings on the platform for your peers and colleagues to learn from your learnings, to improve their learnings, for cross-fertilization of ideas for peer learning, as well as it serves as an avenue to provide feedback to us on what you think about the course and areas you think we need to improve. And how much is the RSH e-learning course? It is free, as the course does not entail any cost implication. So it is free of charge, and the certificates are as well assessed completely free without any cost implications. And you can access this on our platform on nigeria.safeguardingsupporthub.org. Nigeria.safeguardingsupporthub.org. We are now going to show you a short video on how to navigate the course on the RSH website. Please stay tuned.
How to access Safeguarding Matters, an e-learning course by the Resource and Support Hub RSH. Step 1. Visit our website at safeguardingsupporthub.org. Under the Learn About Safeguarding drop-down menu, click on RSH Online Learning. Now you are on the e-learning course Safeguarding Matters. Our course is available in a number of languages, including Amharic, Arabic, English, French, Hausa, Portuguese, and Swahili. To receive an overview of the course in your preferred language, you may click on one of the language buttons. Step 2. Register for the RSH e-learning course. If you are new to RSH, you need to register on our website. Click on this option above. It will take you to the registration page. Fill in the details.
Okay, sorry about that, but I think the main message has already been shared. Thank you, Sylvia. Just to recap what the video has. So simply to navigate the course, you go on nigeria.safeguardingsupporthub.org, and there you have some tabs where you select the online learning tab, and that will lead you to the course. And then you have two tabs to choose from, and one says click here if you are a new user, if you are not registered with the RSH, and the second one gives you the opportunity as an already registered user to continue the course through the second tab, and that is how to access the course. So you simply register and go ahead with the course. Thank you, Sylvia. The link to the course has been shared in the chat box. Please click and continue your learning. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and over to you, Nabina. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Oluchi, for that insightful presentation, letting us know what the offer is and how to navigate on the website. Before we make progress, I would like to recognize that a number of persons have used the Zoom feature to raise their hands up. By all means, when you have a comment or question, I indulge you to leverage the chat feature or the Q&A feature. When you do that, by all means, do bring down your hand so that we are able to address other issues. But thank you so much for engaging this process. To better contextualize the conversation, we will hear from users who have taken the e-learning modules from Nigeria to South Africa and then the MENA region. Starting with our second speaker, Hawa Hassan from Nigeria. Over to you, please, Hawa, to take us through your amazing journey.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Hawa Hassan, Gender and Protection Officer working with the Uncle Community Development Initiative and also the safeguarding focal person for my organization. So TCDI is one of the organizations that was mentored by RSH, and we've recorded a lot of successes after our engagement with RSH and after the completion of the online e-learning courses. So I would like to share my testimony with you, and I hope this testimony will help you and also encourage you to undertake the courses, as it is very important for you and your organization. So let me start by sharing my testimonies. Initially, before undergoing RSH courses, there are some gaps that I have on safeguarding. But after going through the online courses, I found the course highly beneficial and invaluable for my role as the safeguarding focal person in my organization. And also in the modules, there's also use of scenario-based approach, which make learning easy and clearer for me to understand, and other colleagues that will join that have already undertook the courses. It makes it more clearer and more straightforward for us to understand. And also it enhances my understanding of safeguarding, and it makes also my role easier and manageable. And also there's, as mentioned by Olufi, there is offline version of the courses, which you can have it anywhere, anytime, without having network or internet access. You can go through it and find anything that you think is difficult for you to access. And also I was awarded with a certificate at the completion of courses, which also added value to my role. And I will rate the courses like 4 out of 5 if I'm to rate it, because it's very important and very straightforward. Next slide, please. Also, after the completion of the courses, I recorded some information that I need to use it in my organization. So I implemented my learning through supporting my organization to incorporate the RSH safeguarding courses into the onboarding training for new joiners in our organization. So when new joiners went through the online courses, so these are the benefits that we recorded. It helps in improving their safeguarding knowledge, and it helps to build their understanding and their roles and responsibility towards safeguarding. And it also fosters shared commitment to improving safeguarding culture within our organization. And also, they're also awarded with a certificate. And also, I supported my organization in mainstreaming safeguarding across our work. In everything we do in our organization, after our engagement with RSH and after going through the online courses, we have safeguarding lenses. We put safeguarding lenses in everything we do in the organization. So part of our gains after the completion of the online courses, we gain a lot of knowledge and has become the cornerstone in shaping the culture of excellence and safety in our organization. Also, our staff attitude have also experienced a series of positive changes, which is also a good thing because safeguarding is everyone's responsibility. And there's also a notable improvement in our organizational culture. Our safeguarding culture has also improved and which also make our work easier. And also our program participants, that is our beneficiary that we are dealing with, the experience, confidence, and sense of safety when collaborating with our organization. And also there is a visible commitment to best practice shown by our staff that entails trust, and it also makes our partnership more robust and effective with other partners, because when there's a good organizational culture, it's make our partnership smooth and more effective. And in essence, the course has also not only equipped the CDI staff with essential safeguarding knowledge, but also catalyzed a positive ripple effect that foster a safer working environment for all. Next slide, please. So I think basically this is what I have, and I really want to encourage everyone out there to go and undertake the online RSH courses because it's very important. I, as a safeguarding focal person in my organization, it makes my work easier, and it also boosts the it boosts the capacity of our staff to make sure that safeguarding culture is implemented in our organization. Thank you from my side and over.
Thank you, Howard, for grounding the conversation on the e-learning models, highlighting the value addition to your role as a safeguarding focal point and to your organization. Quite interesting. I would now like to invite our third speaker, Edward Brewer, to provide insights based on his participation in the e-learning course. Edward, over to you, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Edward Brewer, and I'm a UX designer driven by creating digital tools that empower vulnerable populations in Africa. Two driving forces prompted me to take the RSH safeguarding course recently. First, my current projects, an educational app for displaced children and a data collection emergency link app for women experiencing gender-based violence. This demanded a deep understanding of online risks and user protection. My prior knowledge was only from general news, and volunteering provided a basic awareness, but I sought more structured knowledge and a practical guideline to design truly safe and supportive tools. The RSH course filled this gap, and its impact has been immense. It's dramatically raised my awareness of the digital risks for vulnerable groups, revealing grooming techniques, hidden abuse indicators, and unique online challenges they face. This knowledge is already guided my design decisions, ensuring I proactively address these vulnerabilities while empowering other users. Furthermore, the course emphasis on building safe ecosystem really resonated with me deeply. I provided a robust framework from integrating safeguarding principles throughout my design process, from initial user research to content creation and moderation. This shift in approach ensures user safety is not an afterthought, but a core pillar for both my app projects. With this newfound knowledge, I will be shaping my apps into havens for vulnerable users. For my children's app, I will be developing interactive quizzes on online safety, implementing age-appropriate reporting mechanisms, and creating trauma-informed resources. Similarly, the women's app will benefit from discrete emergency links, secure data sharing protocols, and trauma-informed support chatbots. Beyond my projects, I'm committed to share this knowledge and inspiration with others. I will be actively advocating for the RSH cause within my teams and the design community, mentoring colleagues on integrating safeguarding practices. We all have a responsibility to protect vulnerable users online, and I'm determined to play my part in building a safer digital world. The RSH safeguarding course is an invaluable tool for any designer who's working with vulnerable population. I encourage you to join me in taking it, integrating its principles into your work, and together, let's make a lasting impact. Remember, safeguarding isn't just a one-time action, but an ongoing commitment. Let's keep learning, building, and collaborating to create a truly inclusive and safe digital space for anybody. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Edouard, for the additional perspectives. Quite revealing, showcasing the criticality of safeguarding, integrating safeguarding in your apps, targeting vulnerable stakeholders. It's amazing. Before I invite our fourth speaker, I would like to highlight that the Q&A and chat functions are live. Feel free to stop and send a comment. Feel free to drop a question as well. That's something that would really inform the next session. Our final speaker, Hoga El Sahid, would share a bit about her journey with the e-learning models now. Over to you, please, Hoga.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for this opportunity to share my experience with the Safeguarding Matter module course. And thanks for participants for joining us. My name is Hoga El Sayed. I'm based in Egypt, and I'm safeguarding consultant and mentor working with RSH in MENA region and some of African countries. I'm usually supporting NGOs, INGOs, CSOs to establish a safeguarding system, and part of my work delivering safeguarding training. So my personal experience, I will start with my personal experience with this course. Actually, when I started working on this course, my knowledge was advanced in safeguarding because I have been working in safeguarding for 6 years. But also it was really good to find a systematic and helpful course containing a lot of essential information in a systematic way, which helped me to refresh my information in this structured way. It was also a great to find a PDF for the material of the course. For me, it's very important to find this by the end of the course to have a certificate and also to have a material in place. So I found it in the PDF. The course also, I found it founding an interactive activities during the course, which support any participant to provide their ideas and their practices while they are taking the course. So it was a great opportunity to find this course. After a while, I started to work as a mentor and expert in safeguarding. So a part of my work to have a group of mentees and start the mentoring program maybe for months. Before starting the mentoring program or the training, I asked the mentees or the trainees to join the course and to have the certificate before starting the program with me. That was very helpful for them and for me. For them, they find the essential information about the course, and they coming in the beginning, the mentoring program or the training have essential information and a practical way of thinking about safeguarding. And that's put me and them on same page before starting the mentoring process, and make it easier for me and for them too. During also the trainings, when the trainees already have the training, before start the training with me, that's making the training to be in a high level in participation and for sharing their ideas and examples from their context and so. Also, while I doing my mentoring journey with the NGOs, especially the CSOs and national NGOs in many countries, I advise their HR to include this course in their onboarding package, which support some of them which already have no safeguarding training in place, to consider safeguarding matter course as an essential course in their onboarding package and collect certificate. And they also will have a training record in HR, which part of safer recruitment process. Actually, my focus now is to support my mentees and my trainees to take the course material and to develop their own materials. And also that's make it easier because the training is translated to many languages, which is suitable for the context and make it more understandable for them. I'm also supporting my mentees and my trainees to use the material and the course itself to support their partners, suppliers, contractors, or their implementing partners in their context to take this course before starting their partnership. I think if I will continue talking about the course, it will be endless because I really like this course, and I like in general RSH Safeguarding Hub because it's very, very important for anyone working safeguarding or even not working in safeguarding but working in humanitarian and development to learn more about safeguarding, and this is one of the best courses available now. Thank you so much, and please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you, Holger, for that beautiful presentation, highlighting value addition even for an expert user like yourself, especially how it's easy in your work and your trainees and your mentees. So grateful that you're able to share that. Before, we have heard from RSH. We have gotten testimonies from learners, from users. We would now like to hear from you, our distinguished participants, through the Q&A function. You recall at the beginning, I did mention that the Q&A function is at the bottom, and chat functions. Please, we are taking the next couple of minutes to look at this. We will have a conversation where you have questions for any of the speakers. Do include, please. Do you have comments? Do share as well. Panelists are encouraged to unmute at any point. To get us going, while our distinguished participants are engaging the Q&A function, I would like to ask the panelists, are there questions that you often get as trainers? Now, Holger, Oluchi, are there questions that you often get that you feel that you would want to share with colleagues here? Then we will get to Edouard and Hawa. So, I can't see Oluchi at the moment. Holger, do you want to unmute and share some of your experiences?
Yeah, I didn't get the questions. Can you please repeat the question?
That's okay. So we are giving a couple of minutes for our distinguished participants to put in questions. Are there questions? Oh, there are some questions. Are there questions that we often get as a mentor using the e-learning models?
Yeah. Yeah. My experience as a mentor, the mentor wants to I want to put my mentee on the same page with me while we are discussing safeguarding. So to have this course in place before starting the mentorship process, that helps me and them to have a common language to discuss. So it was a really great beginning, and they already start the mentorship process, and they already have something in place. They coming to the mentorship sessions, and they already have some questions from the course, so we have an opportunity to discuss. So that's for me the important point.
Thank you so much, Holger. There is a question from Lassina Konat. He's greeting us in French. He's asking if there is a possibility to have it a version in French. Oluchi, would you like to speak to that?
Yes, thank you so much, Nabina, and thanks for the question. Apologies once again for the video. Like I mentioned earlier, the video was supposed to show us those languages, but because of that glitch, we didn't get to that part. So yes, the RSH e-learning module course is available in 7 extra languages apart from English and Hausa, and that includes French. And the other 6 languages are Amharic, Kiswahili, Arabic, Portuguese, Bangla, and Urdu. So yes, we have that in French and these 6 other languages, including English and Hausa, making it 9 languages. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Oluchi, for that concise response. There's a question from an anonymous attendee that's asking, are the RSH e-learning modules free? That response is quite straightforward. Free, it is free. It is free. Oluchi, is there any other component you would like to add to that?
As well as the certificates are free. So yes, it is free.
Free with a certificate, that's interesting. There's a question from Nigus Mola that would like an advice from the presenters. What's your advice on the reporting channels that you think are the best ones? Who would like to go for it? Oluchi? Olga?
Okay, I will give just a preview, and then our users who have used it, right, will also come in with their practical experience on what works. So when we talk about reporting channels or mechanisms, there are lots of things that needs to be considered, right? There are some factors that organizations setting up reporting mechanisms need to consider. And this would include your context. So what applies in Nigeria may not apply in Egypt. So you need to consider your concept, your context, consider your locality where you're implementing your program. What applies there? What are the contextual factors? What are the norms, the traditions, the cultures, right, that apply in those locations that you're implementing? Then you have to think about your program participants. Who are these people that you're working with? Are they persons with disability? Are they women? Are they children? Are they men? What are their levels of literacy level and all of that? So you need to factor in all of these considerations when selecting your reporting mechanism. But one key thing I would say is that it is always advisable and helpful to have multiple channels for reporting and not just one. So that if one doesn't suit one person or one group of people, the other will be able to serve their need. So have it at the back of your mind that in setting up effective reporting mechanism, it shouldn't just be one. It should be more than one, and you should consider what applies to the people you're working with, your context, and the program you're working on. I will now hand over to Holger, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Actually, from my experience, I will share from my experience as I have been working with safeguarding for years. Actually, it will take some time to identify the best channel for reporting. As Uchi mentioned, that you will have many reporting channels, but also you will observe and follow up on those channels. You will sometimes find low reporting in certain channel or high reporting with another one. Sometimes you will find low reporting in general. So in this case, you will have to have some meetings and consultations with the community, with the support maybe from the M&E colleagues. So you will have some discussions around the reporting and reporting barriers, and then you will find the best way and the best channels in your context and for your target group. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Holger. Thank you, Oluchi. There is a comment, there's a question from Nadia Geb Michelle Nokoi. Apologies if I didn't pronounce the name correctly. I'm going to match that. Okay, it's the same person. They would like to know how to access the Amharic version of the safeguarding in e-training. Who would like to go for that? Holger?
Yeah, actually, to go to any language, it's easy just to access the link of the course which shared in the chat box. Just make sure to have an account on the website, and then you will find yourself on a list of different languages. Just choose your language and go ahead. It's very easy one. I tried many and with many people, so it's easy.
Okay, thank you so much. There is a question from Eze. I'm going to match it with another one. Eze says, Eze Stella Nebechi, please, is RSH a government organization or individual? Also, what's the aim and what's the purpose? Valley says, can RSH have an online mentorship program on safeguarding? Any plans for the establishment of an RSH safeguarding hub for Southern Africa? This is a loaded question, and it's only proper for me to pass the baton to our national representative. Oluchi, please.
Thank you so much, Nabina, and thanks, Vali and Eze, for the questions. I will start with Eze's. So RSH, which in full means Safeguarding Resource and Support Hub, it's a non-government organization, right? So it is not a government organization, but it is a multilateral one, a multinational one that has coverage and feasibility across different countries. And our sole aim and purpose is to bridge a gap that has been identified in the safeguarding sector. So before now, I am sure that many of us did not really know what safeguarding means, right? And what that's how that applies to the work that we do. But the harms have been there, right? And when we talk about safeguarding, we are looking at putting in practices and measures in place to prevent sexual exploitation, abuse, harassment, and other forms of harms like discrimination, bullying, just pure harassment, and all that. And these have been issues that have been prevalent in the work that we do in the ed sector and across beyond the ed sector. But a lot of organizations, especially the less resourced ones, according to the evidence, did not have the capacity, the knowledge, and the skills to work against this, to prevent it. And that is what RSH is here to do. So RSH works basically with local organizations to support them, strengthen their capacities, knowledge, and skills to be able to prevent occurrences of sexual exploitation, abuse, and harassment, and other forms of harm in their work. So that is simply our objective. And how do we do that? By through capacity strengthening support, training, mentoring, the organizations that we select, and a couple of other loads of services and activities that we provide to the organizations and the networks that we work with. And linking that to Vali's question, yes, we hold mentoring programs, like I mentioned earlier, and we are currently starting the new batch of mentoring with the newly selected organizations, as I announced in the last webinar that we had on December 5th. And this mentoring program usually lasts for 6 months. So we have trained mentors on safeguarding whom we link to the organizations, and they provide hand-on tailored support to these organizations to build their safeguarding system. So yes, we do. And bringing to the last part of your question about setting up RSH in the Southern African region, I think we've taken note of that and we'll relate that to our team to see how that can possibly be handled. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Oluchi. There is a comment and a question from Edward Egede. To have the safeguarding training embedded in the organizational onboarding package is a welcome development. That's the comment. Is it also advisable to have the safeguarding in a standalone manual where each staff is supposed to sign? Can we speak to that for 30 seconds, please?
I can answer the question.
Right.
Yeah, actually, the course itself, yes, any organization can embed in the onboarding, because simply we can ask the staff to conduct this course before starting their first day in the organization, and provide the certificate, or in their first week in the organization. But also the PDF and material, it's very easy to take information from those material to develop a standalone training, which you can facilitate in your organization, maybe online or even in person in your office. So it depends on your vision and your need in your organization. So it's flexible, and because of this, that training is available in many language, available in PDF and online. So use it as you want, and as the organization needs. This is from my experience and my mentees' experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Holger. There's a question from
Sorry, can I add to that? There's so much extra resources available on this course, and policies in different languages that you can download and can use and form your own policies that is tailored and suited to your specific needs in your organization. So it is an amazing wealth of information that you will get by doing this course.
Thank you so much, Edward, for the addition. I can see a question from Obiano Ju. I'm going to match that with a question from Nike. How does the modules run? Is there a timeliness to conclude each of the modules?
Yeah, there's time limit for every module is 30 minutes, and for all the module is 4 hours. I think that 30 minutes for each module. That's 5 minutes, 5 modules, and 4 hours for all the modules. Thank you.
But you definitely can take your time in doing it. It is on your own pace. And because I said there's a lot of different extra information that is gathered from each module, you can really take your time and read through all the info, and that will take a while because there's a lot of info to go through, and also to understand it and try to see how you can incorporate it into your community. So yeah, you can take your time.
Thank you so much, Edward. Thank you so much, Hawa, for that. Abimbola Ogundeji says, can an organization be fully safeguarding compliant? Are there organizations examples like this? How would you say an organization fully safeguarding compliance improves on their system?
Okay, I could take that. First of all, I would like to start by saying that it is advisable and will always advocate that organizations look at safeguarding not basically from compliance perspective, but from behavioral change and safer culture perspective. So having that in mind, the preoccupation should be how do you know an organization that is safe, that prioritizes keeping people safe and ensuring a safe program is implemented. So having said that, yes, you can still have an organization that is compliant and still accommodates safe systems in their work. But when we talk about safeguarding, there are three components, right? So you have the prevention, you have the reporting, and the response. So looking
Thank
at
you.
it from a systematic area, this should be put in place and then monitored for effectiveness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Oluchi. I would like to nudge the users to engage the course. The module has insights and does point to hyperlinks to key resources that would add value to some of these. How does the module run? We've done that. Nigo says, can a user access? Yes, you can access. Dauda says, can a user access in more than one language? Yes, you can access from the tab like Oluchi had mentioned, and then colleagues have as well. Will the RSH e-learning modules provide techniques in addressing safeguarding concerns within the health sector? Because of the scenario-based model, I would believe that it speaks to some of those. Please, can you draw a line of difference between, I can see that there are a number of questions that are being asked. We encourage you to keep dropping. Please, can you draw a line of difference? We will try to respond to as many, given the poor connection being experienced here. Is it possible to, I think we've run out of time.
Abina, yeah, sorry.
Well, we would, no, you may. Just before we get into the polls, we encourage you to use the polls. We will try to provide responses to key questions that you have dropped on the chat. Very useful questions anyways. Thank you so much. Oluchi?
Thank you so much.
Say a final word, yes, before we go.
Thank you, Nabina. Thank you so much, everyone, for your active engagement. And I am very convinced that this webinar was worth it, as we have still growing interest from audiences in the safeguarding course. And that is, we can say that from the questions that have come in. But I want to sincerely apologize to everyone that we may not be able to respond to all of these interesting and relevant questions in the interest of time. But I'm also committing that the team will respond to all of the questions and share them on the website alongside this webinar recording and other relevant resources that would help you in undergoing this course and improving your organization's safeguarding system, as well as your individual skills and capacity. So please, yes, if you have more questions, kindly send them in. We'll respond and publish. Over.
Thank you so much, Oluchi. Any final word from Edouard and Hawa?
I just want a small thing is something that really surprised me is I'm busy with a grant proposal, and before I've done this course, I would never have thought of putting safeguarding into my grant proposal. And now I have done an intense description of what the safeguarding means in this grant proposal, and it gives a lot of gravitas to a grant proposal to put in. So this project, this course will come in handy with places where you wouldn't have thought would come in handy. So I really urge you to take it.
Please do engage the polls. I encourage everyone to take the polls. The polls are live. The polls are intended to get feedback from you so that we improve our processes going forward and future webinars to you. Thank you so much. Hawa, were you going to say something?
Yes. I want to emphasize that on Edward's statement earlier that safeguarding is not a one-day activity or one-day job, it's a continuous process. So we should always ensure that safeguarding is integrated into our daily monitoring and evaluation activities in our organization. Thank you.
Thank you. Any final words, Holger?
I would like to thank anyone participants today, and because the engagement was really high and I really impressed by the questions. So thanks so much for your engagement today. And my final say that safeguarding is everyone's responsibility. Everyone should take it serious and take it not only in work, but also in our personal life. So thanks so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Holger. Oluchi, do I take your initial comment as your final word, or you have something to share?
Yes, I will thank you. I will conclude by saying, please go ahead and undergo this course, and you can get that on nigeria.safeguardingsupporthub.org. It is simple and straightforward to navigate and go through. And I wish you all the best as you improve your safeguarding capacity and systems. Thank you.
Thank you from myself. We'll be sharing the webinar recordings and the slides with you shortly, as well as other related resources. If you want to hear about future RSH webinars, subscribe to our newsletter. The link is in the chat. Thank you, and I hope to connect with you soon. Thank you so much.